some people that are his mods are asking questions about. I feel it's important to mention this. Um, so then at that point, when we were speaking about certain things, and he was saying, yeah, because people are getting concerned and things are being said. And we even made the tracker. And I'm like, the what? And he's like, the tracker. And I'm like, well, what is the tracker? And he was like, 5A's tracker. And he was like, yeah, so people were speaking. He said, that's why I want to do the meeting. I said, oh, I didn't watch that. He was like, yeah, you got to watch it. So I was like, all
Great
right, I'll watch it.
point, Coco. I don't think people even understand what we're talking about. I don't know. I want to remind the audience of the last time you seen Coco, ZX, and Black Butterfly on Grown Folks Channel. It was made to seem as though Coco had such a huge problem with the tracker, and the tracker could have been, that comment could have been inputted by trolls and this, that, and the other. But what people don't know is
and that I just got crazy over this tracker out of nowhere, and I planted this seed, and it's a big conspiracy, and it's coup and all this other stuff. And my thing is that I didn't even know what a tracker was until I spoke with him on the phone the day of the meeting, and he said, we made the tracker. People are noticing you guys are not there. We made the tracker. And I said, what? He was like, yes, that's why I want to have a meeting. He said, we'll talk about it later, but that's one of the things he said, because that's the last thing I want is for it to seem like we are not getting along. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll try to take a look at it before the meeting. So I read Bull 5A's meeting, and her tracker thing, because I didn't see it. I saw the list or whatever. I screenshot it, and yes, I put it in a back chat. And I was like, this is one of the things that we need to talk about, because he said, because this is one of his concerns is that the mods are not being there and that people feel that we're not being around. So my point in saying I was going to bring it up in the meeting was to just make sure that Fi's people felt comfortable and that they didn't agree with what was being said, because ZX is the one that told me about the tracker and said, yes, that's why I want to call a meeting. So again, if you're going to say it right. Don't lie.
Alabama gets it. Listen. Alabama understands.
Listen, don't lie on me, okay? Mm-hmm. Don't lie on me. You are the one that brought up the tracker, because I did not even know what it was. Now, maybe because you did say, right, and the thing is, he did say, well, I don't mind being on a tracker, it's good, bad, or whatever. But the whole point is that you had just spent weeks and also talking about the meeting, and you wanted everybody there because of the mods. That was the whole big thing. So yes, you're the one that brought up the tracker, and you said right after you brought it up, you say, yes, that's why I want to have a meeting. That's the only reason why I brought up the tracker. So you can continue to paint a narrative that I did this whole big thing and all that. But I know you record everything, right? So when you go back to that recording, make sure you go back to that part and see who brought up the tracker first. And see who said the tracker. I never even know what that was. Go back and see who brought that up first. I think that was maybe on like the 11th of November. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that's a very important part. And that was something that I wanted to cover in our first, conversation. And we ended up forgetting about it because there was so much going on. But I think that's a very important part.
Nikki, I'm sorry. Just one more thing. And the other thing about us being jealous of Fi that came from Coco, listen. When you go into a chat, and again, maybe because you're a man, I guess, I don't know. But when you're constantly on a regular basis saying this all started with Fi, y'all had a problem with Fi, y'all had a problem with Fi, y'all had a problem with Fi.
That's the narrative.
Right. But I'm like, do you think that we're jealous of her? Like, do you think that I'm the only female in the chat?
He told me specifically no.
Right. Like, you think that I would be the only female?
Morning because I said that I was going to cover the truth. If he don't cover the truth, then all of a sudden it was, oh, y'all jealous again. But last night he swore up and down he wasn't. That he never said we was jealous. He swore up and down that he never said that we were trying to control his panel. He swore up and down that, people was just making up shit. And it was coming from, you and Jackie and people was just inserting themselves in this and the other, as if I hadn't listened to the receipts myself.
And let me tell you, Nikki, if I ever even said, I think you should
I never doubted you.
No, but listen, just think about it, though. Just think about it. I mean, you were with him for 3 years. If I would have called him and said, I think you should take away Nikki's wrench, what do you think he would have said to me? Like, are you serious? I would never. So those are just the two things I want to address.
Well, like I said, Coco, let me say this, because I get it. When I did start talking to everybody, it seemed like it went from, hey, how you doing? You talk to Nikki. Where's Nikki? Tell Nikki to call me. And then when I didn't call, then all of a sudden it was like, well, Nikki, can we take her wrench? She ain't been around, this, that, and the other. When it was obvious I was gone. And he's trying to make it seem like, well, Jackie and Coco said, we should take your wrench. I wasn't there for a whole month. So I'm not gonna get mad at them, even if you said
And the
Coco,
thing
even
is,
if you
and the
said
thing
take
is,
her branch, it would have been okay because I gave it up.
no, but the thing is, the last conversation that we had when, you were upset with me, and I was like, wow, I was like, I guess, just do
Right,
what you got to do. I said with Kimmy and with Queen's Court, do what you got to do. Like, I mean, what else could I say? At
right.
that point, I already
Exactly
knew
what
that you were
Jackie said.
done.
You was gonna do
Right.
what you gonna do.
I knew that you were done. So
Right,
what else is there to say? And the thing is, it's like, oh, they're talking to Nikki behind the scene. You would say, have you spoken to Nikki? Have you reached out to her? If she says that she's falling back and she's not really wanting to take phone calls and she's going through her own thing, she's going through her own thing. That's it.
right.
Like,
That's it. I walked
that's the
away.
female
Like,
code
please
thing.
tell
Right?
these people because he sit there and lied. See, now I'm getting back on track because I had got thrown off because I was like really just like ready to say, but I done got fired back up. Okay, so this nigga gonna sit here and say that October 5th that he told me, yeah, I'm out, I'm done, I'm this, that, and the other. He said this several times. On October 5th, he said, I'm done. If you call me, it's whatever. If you don't, then fine, and peace out. But he leaves out the fact that he sat there and did a whole goddamn live trying to beg me to come back playing inappropriate songs, but he don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted us to, and I wanted you to come back too. I was one of those pain in the behind people that were texting you, right, Nikki? I mean, be honest.
You was.
I mean, I was like, when
I
it's like,
was
oh,
done. I was
she's
done.
talking
It
to,
wasn't nothing personal.
and you were done, and that was way before I didn't have to say anything to you. If anything, I'm like, Nikki, like,
Like,
can you
work it
please just
out,
think
talk
about it?
to
Yeah,
him. Right.
yeah,
Right.
I
And
was
that's
not
the thing.
saying
That's what I
anything.
was trying to tell him that last night. It's like you want to blame everything on Coco and Jackie, but Coco and Jackie was really trying to have your back.
Yep. Every time he said, and it wasn't me just jumping out the window, getting involved in stuff. He would say, "Have you talked to her?" I would try to reach out, and I was like, no, she didn't respond to me, and maybe she just needs time. I didn't know,
And it wasn't nothing personal against you, Coco. I call myself trying to protect this Negro. I
right?
call myself because I know that I've developed a relationship with each of you all the mods, and I didn't want to put you all in an in-between situation where you felt like you had to go with me or go with him. So I just quietly, systematically stepped back.
And I told you, that I selfishly wanted you to still be a part. I really did, and I told you that.
You did. You told me that.
And I said, and I feel like I'm just being selfish, but I really want you to come back. So I was still,
yes,
he wanted me to still try to reach out to you, and I selfishly was trying to pull you back and say, no, Nikki, come on, let's just do this, like that, and
you're
you're
a
like,
family, we can work it out, and this and the other. But you have to understand, I've known ZX since, and I'm not talking about I know him as in personally or met him physically or this, that, and the other. I know his YouTube persona. I know how he thinks regarding YouTube, and so. Even before I discussed it with any of you all, I knew it was done because he had lied to me too many times about the direction he wanted to go, but his action said another. And it's fine if that's the direction you want to go in, but you can't force me to go in there with you.
Right. And the thing is, I was new, so I really didn't know. Right. I didn't really know a lot of that stuff. So I'm just like, well, no, let's just work this out. Like, come on, and that was it, but as far as like this whole narrative, like I pulled you away and I can't, that's just not accurate. And the tracker thing, I just wanted to like really clarify that whole tracker because, even people that I care about, like Ashe, I mean, Cynthia.
Ashe? Thank you for your video again. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Cynthia. Thank you. But, like even Cynthia's like, I never knew that.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to know about the tracker and I've seen her mention that. So I wanted to just say that's how that whole thing happened. Like, I didn't even know what it was or that we were on it. He's the one that mentioned it to me the day of the mob meeting. And he said, yeah, that's why we got to do the meeting. That's why we're having a meeting. Mm-hmm. And so that's where that came from.
Right.
And when I put it in the back chat about the screenshot, yes, that was one of the things we were going to talk about. So to say, oh, Coco thought we were going to sit there and discuss this tracker and thing like that. And I told her it wasn't that serious. You are the one that brought it up almost like you wanted to talk about it. You said that was one of the main things that you wanted to talk about in the meeting. Now that I think you wanted to talk about it the whole entire time, no, but you like to take one little part of something and then you like to misconstrue it and make it seem like it's something that it's not and make me seem like this person, but you really just can't make me seem like a terrible person. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying?
Out of all of us, I probably am the most hated and you are the most loved.
Like,
so I don't even get why he even, try to play that situation. I really don't.
I mean, so, that's it. But those are just the two things I wanted to address. It was very nice meeting you. And, Nikki, have a good night. And it was very nice meeting your friend. Very nice to meet you.
You too, love.
Okay. Take care. Nikki, you both have the same accent, too.
We have the same accent. Oh, yeah. Because we're from the same, like, she's like 20 minutes away from me. Right. I can get in the car and drive to her house right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm glad you did, Coco, because here's the thing. It's not my natural state to want to expose him. I've never wanted to. It never crossed my mind. So when he wigs out and say, "I'm gonna dox you to Suge. I'm gonna put your head on here," it's like, what?
And it's horrible because it's like,
we having a conversation and you done jumped all the way out the window. They just let me know he all the way far gone, and then you want me to come back but you don't want to address anything, but you just want me to come back and show up in the chat.
And see, the thing is this, ZX, listen, I was going to say something, but then that would have been a lie. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this, you can't, and I don't know, like, what part in your brain that makes you think that this is okay. But what you can't do is you can't say, don't say anything about me. Just go away. Just do this and do that. And then you implant these thoughts and things into people's minds and think that I don't have the right to speak up for myself. Like, what world do you live in? And by me speaking up for myself doesn't mean like, oh, is a millennial queen's number 2? Oh, they're going to be like Suge. Oh, no, it's called me defending myself. I'm a grown African woman. I'm not going to have you just say these things and just leave it out there so people could just come up with these narratives. And you want me to just go away off of Facebook? I mean, off of YouTube, so that way you can just plant whatever stories and seeds that you want to plant. It's not going to happen. I'm a grown woman. It's just not going to happen. I don't know what world that you live in.
I get that. I think he thought that we really his little babies or
whether he gets it.
I don't know what he was thinking, but I
don't know what he was thinking, but like not in, it just doesn't happen. Like, you're not going to get women that want to, and I look back at Fifi, and I mean, I don't really know all these people because they were before me. I didn't really know what was going on.
Right.
But I look at all these people that, were mods and wanted to express how they feel and stuff like that. And I get it. I mean, like I said, I didn't know like the whole backstory with that.
I didn't either. A lot of the situations, a lot of times, people will be like, well, he's real quick to throw it on the queens, the mods, the this, that, and the other. I dip out in and out all the time, whether people realize it or whether they don't. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm not.
I don't think they get that. I really think, people think that we're always like, in the bushes and watching this video. I mean, I catch some here, I catch some here,
dipping out, right?
And I may start out being there, and then I do other stuff. Like I have other things going on.
Right?
Yeah, like I don't really have any desire to like sit here and do this. I like to catch a live here and there with people talking about stuff, but that's pretty much it. But it's just I'm happy that this has come. This is like closure, correction, validation, all that stuff in between. But just the two things I heard today, like I keep hearing about this tracker, and again, like I said, as long as I don't say anything, as long as we don't say anything, then it's just like you get to just run with it. And I had to just clarify the whole thing with the tracker. That's where I got it from him.
Yes, so now, and I was so upset. I told you that in the back end. I was like, when I was going off on my rant, I wasn't looking at the chat. I wasn't looking at the trolls. I wasn't looking at anything. I was just trying to get out how I'm the type of person to where I got to say how I feel. And then I'm over it. I'm good. I'm not mad. Like, I don't wish him no harm. I ain't trying to kill his ass, this, that, and the other, but you're not going to bully me.
That's the thing is just even clarifying yourself means like you're coming after him, which is insane to me. But I mean, no, it's really not insane to me at this point. It really isn't. But you need to get a grip. Somebody being able to express themselves and giving their point of view and their side of the story and bringing clarification does not mean that they're doxing you or they coming after you or they're ops. Like, come on, this is not a video game, okay? Like, it's just ridiculous. It's insane.
It's insane. Some people they I ain't gonna lie. I say, to me, I feel like he's just caught up right now. I feel like he know better, but he's just so caught up right now that he can't see anything. And the way I know him is that when he, learns his lesson, then he's going to crawl back, but then he's going to see that it's too late. It's too late. We've been here too many times to help pick you up after telling you, like,
I have 2 sons.
Yeah.
Sons. And
I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to teach, like, give me a break. I just,
you should be trying to teach us and lead us. We shouldn't have to be babying, pacifying, sugar talking and all of that shit. It shouldn't be none of that. It shouldn't be none of that.
So the thing is, like, no, like, I have no desire. I don't have a difficult time walking away.
Right. I do not have a difficult
time walking away. But At the
Oh,
same
you do
time,
have a difficult time walking away because when you walk away, then a narrative gets created about you as though you
right,
were wrong, so that that person doesn't have to accept that they were wrong in some type of way. So
right.
yes,
So
it is
it's
a
like,
difficult time walking away because we
yeah,
all try to walk away quietly, but
yeah,
that
like give me a break. But at the same time, because somebody wants to make sure that their name is cleared or that they clarify the narrative that you're trying to spin, it means that we're after you or we want to, like, come on, you're
right.
not. Listen, okay. Anyway, that's
Look, I have been his ride or die for 20 years. Anytime we have a disagreement, he's telling other people, Nikki's gonna be, what if she goes on Shook channel? What if she goes, she's a troll? What if she does this? What if she does that? And it's like, dude, how many times do I have to prove to you that I'm not? I don't even think he even realized that I had my own channel before I even met him. I don't
yeah.
even think he realized that. I don't think he realized that all of us have our own damn channel.
Yeah, and all of us really, like, not everybody wants to really be
It's not
bothered with this
into
whole thing.
YouTube like
Yeah,
that,
no, it's
right?
definitely not.
No one cares. I'm not saying no one, but everyone doesn't care about YouTube in the way that he does. And my thing is, if he gonna care about it in the way he does, at least put himself in a situation to where he can make some real money off of it, not just
Mhm.
cash outs.
I don't really care what he does at this point, to be honest with you. All I know is that when you speak about me, just make sure that it's accurate and make sure that it's truthful. You
Ditto.
know, I'm not going to be sitting there watching your videos like that. I really could care less. But if I get a whiff of it and you're throwing my name out there and you're making something and you're saying something that's inaccurate, if I feel like it, I'm going to address it. If I don't, then I won't. I really could care less. But I
Well,
wanted to just clarify that, especially for
I'm glad
Cynthia.
you did because I
And for
forgot to
anybody else
remind
that's
her
worried about the tracker, ZX, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's age or whatever, but I'm sure, like I said, you record everything, right? So on that day of the mob meeting, you can just go back, right? Look at it, listen to it, probably like around the middle of the conversation, and you can hear yourself say, "We made the tracker, and
that.
that's why I want to have the meeting." And I
That's
was like,
why I
"Oh, the
wanted to.
tracker."
No, don't skip over that. You stress that. That's why he wanted to have the meeting.
That's
And
exactly the
then
exact
he
words.
closed the majority of the meeting. And then the meeting ended because he didn't understand how it worked. And so he started up a live. And then he said, well, whatever I say behind the scenes, I can say in front of everybody. And to me, that was a welcoming to, like, okay, whatever y'all wanted to say, whatever we were saying in the meeting, y'all can say now. And then Black Butterfly said something. And honestly, I feel like he took that situation and tried to twist it onto Black Butterfly. When if you tell me, oh, well, she said something and she should have said it in private. How was she gonna say something in private when you started up a meeting right after the private meeting and then said I made sure I went back and looked at it. The first thing he said was, I'll say whatever I have to say back then to now. I didn't know that it was going to end in 45, 50 minutes, but we can talk about it now.
And then right before that, and then,
That's what it was, that Black Butterfly didn't answer the right question. If she had asked the question, well, she didn't ask the right question. She had to ask the right question that he wanted to answer. This wouldn't even be the issue. But my issue is that with Black Butterfly is that he knew the situation when he gave her a mod stick. Period.
right.
Period. I ain't saying whatever happened after that was right because I wasn't there. I wasn't there when such and such got blocked or this, that, and the other. But I do know that he gave Black Butterfly a mod stick because she knew the beef sector and she can introduce him to it.
Right. Right.
So when
yeah.
I did start coming back around, then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, she a problem. Like what?
And oh. And then the meeting. Listen, okay. The fact that we had a meeting afterwards or whatever. Listen, we really tried very, very hard to find a way to come together and discuss how everybody felt about the whole thing. And since he wasn't able to do that, that was the whole point of, planning something where we can kind of like talk about it and just like kind of work it out behind the scenes between the females. Now, again, that's my fault. It was a setup. It was a this, it was a that, whatever, make it what you want. That's what it was, and Nikki, you were pissed off. You were pissed off, rightfully so. Like a narrative had been spent, rightfully so. And we were,
yes, I felt like a narrative had been spent that was not
right.
accurate.
And we were trying to find a way to resolve the issues. He actually made it perfectly clear. I don't want to be involved with all that back and forth. But at the same time, why did they come to me? You pick a side. Like, pick up the struggle.
Hold on. He said, why did who come to you? He was saying, why did who come to you?
He was saying, like, basically, like, there was an issue. I didn't know about it. But then at the same time, I'm not going to hear that back and forth. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
So what we did, because he really pushed a relationship between you and I, Okay.
He did.
And,
He did.
and which I didn't have a problem with. It blossomed.
I didn't either.
So,
It blossomed, but
right.
it's like now you mad because we cool. What?
Right. And so we tried to resolve an issue because you said you didn't want any back and forth. And then after the whole black butterfly thing and all that stuff on the panel and get down and lay down and all that, you really thought
Like who do you think you be talking to? Like
we
that's
would
what
be
I be
able to even
wondering.
have a conversation with you? Like that wasn't going to happen. So we tried to resolve it ourselves, you know?
That was crazy. It was like, okay, I want you all to have a relationship. That's cool. And then when he realized we actually did have a relationship, then he did everything to split it up.
Yeah,
I can't
and the
respect
thing
that.
is, he encouraged it. Like I don't really, that part of it really confuses me to make it seem like I had an agenda when he was like, he wanted me to talk to you, but then it was only supposed to be on his terms and say what he wanted me to say. We really didn't say anything. I mean, when I voiced concerns about certain things or I was upset about certain things that I didn't like, I brought it to your attention, which is what he told us to do. He told all of us to do that. Any mods have any issues, take it up with Nikki. Talk to Nikki about it and it'll trickle down to me. That's the way it's always been. But because you and I built a relationship, now it's a problem. And now I'm a snake and this and that and all this other bullshit, whatever. Like I said, the tracker, I think we covered that. And the whole situation with the jealousy thing with Fi Babe and all that. And, that's it. But yeah, that's the whole thing with the tracker. But you guys have a good night. Okay?
All right, love.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye, love. Nikki, can you hear?
I was muted. Bye, Coco. Thank you so much for coming up here. I was trying to block somebody. Love and be blessed. I think, do we have some? Hold on. Maybe I need to add some more mods or something like that. But anywho, Coco, I'm glad you brought that up here because I think that needed to be cleared up because I think that's a prime example of the games that are being played.
Mm-hmm.
This is my understanding of the situation. Because I wasn't around when mods and all of that. I was already gone. That's the thing. I keep getting my name caught up in that shit, but in actuality, I was really already gone. So whenever the tracker came around, I've never watched the tracker, so I can't give you a deep intel about it or whatever. But the tracker is like a list that anybody can post anything on, booty woody woo. Coco didn't know anything about it. She said the first time she heard about it was from ZX himself. He told her, say, hey, you need to go look at the tracker because that's what I'm talking about. Her mods don't feel comfortable. And that's the issue. And that's what we need to have a mod meeting on. So they had a mod meeting on Skype. I was told that he did most of the talking. A couple of people got to speak like 2 minutes or this, that, and the other. It got cut off for whatever reason. And after 45 minutes or something like that. And so he started it back up on live like we are now on YouTube. And so when Coco came up to speak her piece about the tracker part, he played it off as, oh, well, anybody could put the tracker in there. And I don't know why you're worried about that. And you should be thinking about that. And you're just being emotional and this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, don't nobody know that he was the one that pointed it out to her.
Mm.
And then get in front of everybody else. And you know what? I believe her. I believe her because you play them type of games. I believe her. Get mad. I don't get dude really got me. I'm telling you, he really do.
He really do. Fucked up.
He really do.
Yeah, he got himself fucked up. That shit personal. It's between him and him. That truth be told, he don't need nobody else.
He really don't. He beating himself up. We sitting here chilling, minding our own business. I don't went on about my business going on. I'm started school, trying to open into a new business, start a new business, everything. This around here going phone call to phone call, trying to turn people against me just because I'm not around anymore.
Yeah, but
and people are like, oh, well, you're so stressed out or you were so emotional. You got feelings towards him. No, I just don't like to be lied on. And sometimes if I can't round kick a muck in the throat, I cry. That's all that is. That's all it is. Ain't nobody crying for that. I cried because I couldn't. I really don't. I really don't. Like, we all human around here. People have their different life experiences, their different backgrounds, their different levels of education. But as a Black woman, we should all be able to see when it's going on.
Right.
Regardless of whether you like a person, whether you don't like a person, or this and the other. And please don't get it twisted. Nobody's looking for any sympathy. We have always called him out on his board. Always. It's just got to the point where
it's public.
It's public.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. It's public. That's what it is. But you can't disrespect, and regardless, and this is what I was told last night when I was on the phone. Well, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if you talk to them like that, you'll talk to me like that. Like, who is you fooling?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not cool. I've always stood with the mods. We were always encouraged to develop a bond against each other. And now, I mean, with each other. And now that we have developed a bond with each other, now you're trying to penalize us for it? You know, but even if, you know, here's the thing. Even if I just sat back and I put away all my expectations, all of my thoughts, all of this, and I just sat back and look at the situation for what it is. Why is this man going around from person to person carrying bones? Why? What point is it?
Well, you already know my theory.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Go on in front of new people. We might got some new people up in the building. Go ahead and let them know what you think while I look up this receipt. I'm gonna play a receipt. I ain't gonna play with y'all too long, but I'm gonna play a receipt. Hold on, wait a minute. What you say about high heels?
That's simple. He should just be wearing high heels.
Ooh,
because that's what women do. Messy women.
You know, whatever she said, child. I did have a comment up here that I wanted to address. It was something about doxing. I did want to talk about that. Yes, I will. I will think about doing a Q&A. It wasn't my goal to make a channel. It really wasn't. I never thought about making a channel. I've had this channel. If you go look in the about section in my channel, I've probably had this channel since I was like 16 years old. Like, I mean, this channel is very old. This is still my first Google address channel. So, you know, he tried to make it seem like, oh, you're going to be a new millennial queens and all this. It's just like, you don't know when people are being nice to you. You don't know when, just because some people, and see, here's the thing. That's what kills me when somebody say, oh, you're trying to run his platform. That's crazy, because a lot of times people say what they got to say and then they step back. If I actually tried to run his platform, we would have been into it. We'd have been into it because he don't like nobody telling him what to do. The only reason why I'm standing up now is because I feel that he was disrespectful to the mods. That's it. That's it. It done happened 100 times. This done happened 100 times. He done met 100 new people at 100 new times, and he has acted the same way. But this is the first time that he has ever told the mods, I'm going to take your French and I don't give a f who like it. That was the first time. And even though me and him, I talked about that with him. I told him that wasn't acceptable. It's not okay for you to cuss at the mods like that because we don't disrespect you like that. That ain't never been our standard. It ain't never been cool. So I don't know why you think it's cool now, but it's not. And I was prepared to go on about my business. But you know what he said? Nikki, you right. You right. You okay. But then when we get into it today, then all of a sudden he don't understand what the problem is. Empty. So what you apologize for? What you apologize for if you think it's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm about to take away my wrench? Because on the back end, that's what you apologize to me for. But now it's like, okay, well, fine. Okay. Yes, nobody said it was anybody's channel. It wasn't nobody trying to take care of you. Okay, go ahead. Do you. And go on. And we'll go on about our business. But guess who mad? Guess who mad? You ain't heard from me. Up until the live that I did before now, nobody had heard from me in over a month. And the only reason why I have an issue with him is because he was going to each individual mod bad mouthing me, and I hadn't did to this. That's the issue. I don't know how many times I need to say that or whatever. I'm gonna say that's the last time I'm gonna say. Y'all believe what y'all want to believe. It don't really make me no difference. But it was something else. I got a 12-minute clip that I want you all to hear. Well, let me ask this question. Okay, so I heard. Why is he telling you how you feel by saying, Nikki, you okay? I don't know. Child, I don't know. Okay, you got it, Coco? Okay. So you liked his treatment? No, I don't even. That's why I said, you know, Coco, I mean, not Coco, but Tracy, if you want to ask a question, come up here. I don't really know what you're saying. I don't know what treatment you're saying I liked or this, that, and the other, because anything that I like or that I don't like, I make it very clear. Like, I've never been the type to, you know, close my mouth. But what made me put my foot down and not step down and not, you know, and just stand on my square was I didn't like the disrespect that I was seeing that he was putting towards people that I know that had proven their loyalty to them. Nothing against anybody else, but you can't deny that it's folks that has been through the trenches who have been attacked and this, that, and the other just because they are associated with you. You can't discount that. I won't, because that's not the environment that was told to me. That's not the environment that we was in. When the rules changed, I guess some rules changed somewhere. I didn't know. And, you know, again, I chose to step back. So some things may have happened when I step back. It is what it is, you know, but I know I won't be the scapegoat. I know I won't be getting put the blame on every time somebody wanted a mod stick and didn't get a mod stick. I know I won't be that, because I'm going to tell you, if he wanted you to have a mod stick, you'd have had a mod stick. I think that's evident by now. But, you know, some people, you know, they want to believe whatever they want to believe.
Yeah, I think that's it, bud.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just looking over these comments in the chat. A lot here. Anybody don't like it, they can bounce. He said all of that. Yeah, and that was the thing. When I had a conversation with him last night, he pretty much denied all of that. It was like, oh, I didn't mean any of that. And then if I cornered him, it was like, well, I wasn't talking to you. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It don't matter if he was talking to me. You know, it's not to anybody like that, because ain't nobody around getting paid. These are married women. Who are you to talk to them like that? Or women that have, you know, relationship. Like, you can't just be running around here talking to anybody like that. Just so I think sometimes, you know, I was telling you this earlier. I think sometimes these YouTubers, they head get too big. That's just what it is. I think that's what it is. Yep. I really do.
And that's exactly what happened with him.
And then when the real wake up call is when they go to somebody else and they say, hey, do you know my YouTube channel? They look at them like they crazy. I think they should do that on a daily basis so they can understand that you can't talk to nobody any kind of way, because not everybody gives about you being on YouTube and how many subscribers you got, because it's not everybody's world. If YouTube is your world, then I can see it, but it's not everybody's world. And then even if YouTube is your world, you have kids with 1 million subscribers making $1 million without doxing nobody, harassing nobody, cussing out nobody. And then you got these people trying to tear each other lives apart for a $10 cash out. Goddamn. and then they want to wonder why you disappeared. Like, what the? Like, we all should disappear, honestly. But anyhow, is there anything else you want to say before I cash out these receipts? And then I'll shut it down.
No, I think we done hit it all, baby. Listen, for me not to ever get on here, I have a clear picture of what's going on.
I was surprised. I'd be nervous about trying to explain this to people who's not a part of YouTube. And, you know, we talk all the time. And it just so happened that we talked last night. And I brought up YouTube, and you was like, okay, I sent her a couple of videos and she read about it. Because she got back to me too fast. So I know she didn't watch all of it. But when she got back to me, she described it down to a T.
Yeah,
like a T.
It don't take long. I work with these behaviors every day, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just all it is. As long as he stay on the top, he good. You know what I'm saying? But if he gets a whiff that it's a possibility that somebody can surpass him, he's not ready for that.
Mm.
And you can't win like that.
No, you never win like that. Ever.
No, you can't win like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is there anybody? I think I want to ask the hey Nisa, anybody else that I wanted to ask the question about? Okay, so he tried to put out some type of receipt to try to prove that I somewhat dislike Fi Babe or hated Fi Babe, which is ridiculous, because anybody know that if I don't like somebody, I don't have a problem with saying I don't like that. Like, even if I didn't like Fi Babe and I said I don't like Fi Babe, like, who gonna whoop my? So if I said this, I would say, like, I don't get that. I really don't get it. But the issue is that I don't even know her like that. I don't know her content. The last time I was over there, she was talking. I think she's very entertaining. I think she's a beautiful lady, but I didn't know what she was talking about. So it's not my thing, you know? But instead of him saying that, he take it as, oh, you just don't like her at all. You just don't like her at all. Like, he can't see else. You gone, dude, you gone. He gone for imaginary cuckoo Cocoa Puffs. Imaginary Cocoa Puffs. That he ain't even getting yet. That's crazy to me. Like, it's funny. Like, damn, how you get so gone over stuff you didn't met before? Like, but okay, you know, I think it's cute. I really do. Like, but my thing was, it wasn't the situation or the people that was involved. It was how he was acting and how he was treating the people that was involved with him.
Right.
And he can't accept that, so he pushed it on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the case. And, you know, after that, like, you know, I'm done even explaining it. But I just wanted to think, like, okay, so apparently he showed one of my text messages today. And I guess the text message was, I'm trying to find it so I can read it word for word. I think I did already, though.
Yeah, I think you read it. You did.